but other vets in hiding are moving back towards a normal life. In Spokane, Washington, a man who'd lived for years in the Cascade Mountains took us out to an old trapper's cabin where he'd hidden after Vietnam.
I didn't think anything about what life was going to be like when I got back. I knew how it was when I got back, finally, We were changed.
This is Dean. He was the hellraiser of his family, in trouble with the law by the time he was in high school. He was given a choice, serve your country or serve your time. That was 1965.
Like I say, through trying to reconstruct my life as it was before I went to Nam, it just didn't work out. I just couldn't get along with, my friends that were still bebopping back here on the block. I headed for the woods. I just headed for the woods, just like I say, to get my shit together. Not to feel sorry for myself. Hell, I didn't have to, again, like I say, I didn't have to go into the woods to feel sorry for myself. I could have done that at home. Hell, I could have put a bottle of beer in one hand, cigarette in the other, and watch TV and feel sorry for myself and be twice as comfortable.
When he joined the service, Dean was cocky and street smart. 2 years in Vietnam broke his spirit. Dean's wife welcomed a stranger home from the war.
I told her, listen, I just want to get the hell away for a little bit. Just do some, get some time under my belt and do some thinking. God, she was all for it. She was just glad to see me go because I wasn't doing any good at home. I headed for the hills to a place that I knew about and just got to stay in there. I didn't intend to go into the mountains and spend a lifetime of being up there. I just intended of going up there and trying to get my thoughts together and trying to regroup, try to find out a little about myself. And then, like I say, it just snowballed from there.
Dean wanted to get away from the world, but it didn't work out that way. Other vets heard about this mountain man up in the hills. One decided to join him, and soon there were 7 more. They found Dean surviving on skills he'd learned in the jungles of Vietnam.
Yeah, when I first got up here, I didn't come up here to live like Grizzly Adams, but then there was times that naturally you had to feed yourself, so that's what we did. We more or less lived off the land. Like I say, I'm not living in the 18th century, I'm living in the 20th century. I spent about 9.5 years in the mountains. I always come out here, recharge my batteries. But I live in town now. Well, let's face it, I have got to get into the mainstream of life. There's things that I have to do.
So Dean moved home to his wife and took Vietnam back with him. I could be sitting in a house, and all of a sudden, a car will be going down the street like a newer car that has this little whine, and right away you associate that with incoming mortars or whatever. You see lights flashing off the wall or something like that because of car lights. And it's just association, flashing and everything like that. You get to thinking about that. We got into a firefight in Berea. It was raining so hard. You couldn't see 10 feet in front of you. I was so scared I was shitting my pants. This is the first time I'd ever been in any kind of a combat situation. You could go ahead and shoot out into the open, but you didn't know what you're shooting at. They had us trapped, and the APCs were just running around. Hardly anybody was shot. When everything, when it was all over, there were more bodies and parts and pieces of bodies in the tracks. It was just literally running over everybody. When we had to clean up, we was pulling Bart's bodies out of their tracks. Hell of a war. Hell of a fucking war. We memorialize the soldiers who died in the war, but we often ignore the men who survived. In Vietnam, they fought a war for their country, and back home they fought a second war with their country's conscience. 15 years later, there are still soldiers in hiding, still fighting to forget. Hell, this is it. I can come up here anytime. And I remember, this is my memorial, being home, seeing a beautiful country. Christ, that's memorial right there. Being healthy, being alive, raising your kids. That's memorial. I'm getting to the point where I don't want to be a Vietnam veteran. I just want to be a person, that's all. But there's one thing I can't do. I can't stop being a Vietnam veteran. Like I say, I'm proud to be a Vietnam veteran.
A lot of the people that died, at least they died with the feeling that they were defending their own kind, you know. They died with some kind of an honor. But you're sitting in a bar for the rest of your life, so you don't have to think about your own trip. Happens to a lot of people. And I think maybe a headstone with a flag next to it would be just as calm as that. A lot calmer than that. But who knows? I'm glad I survived Vietnam. I don't know if it's even stopped yet. I don't know if it's even over. I don't think, in my head, it's not over.